All right, guys. Does anybody have any questions about that last technique? Anything not making sense? Anything like that? Cool. Excellent. That's like I would say my
I have one.
yes.
Can you facilitate that? Can you start going the other way?
Theoretically, yeah. It's kind of like I would say kind of maybe,
Okay.
but I would say it's live it this way. It's always better if you can make them make the choice.
Right.
Right. So it's kind of like, and the only problem here's what I'll say is so full disclosure, everybody. Now, not everyone uses this, but I do think that I think almost everyone should. Is the one logical counter to this everything we're going to show today, really underhook half being successful, particularly sort of when you come up and drive in, is can I get you underneath the knee? Can I get on this leg, please? So you have your half guard. Let's go all the way to the beginning. So left leg in.
Gotcha.
Yep. And then, okay, we're whizzering, and then he starts coming up to his knees or whatever, right? And all this different stuff, right? The last sort of counter that I have in my wheelhouse is once he starts disentangling from my legs, is I have the ability to still use this whizzer and uchimata to bump your shoulder down. So tactically, me personally, if I'm wrestling with someone, especially the technique I'm about to show, when they do this, that's where I go immediately. I go uchimata, because the cool part about the uchimata is it has like this threshold of I'll grab you, Kev. We get you half guarding me on this leg. Is it has a pretty long threshold of attack range. So it's like he comes up and then he starts like say I went back here and you start doing this right. Once I'm here, okay, I've lost this positional fight, but now I have this positional fight to bump him over, right? So why is that important? Well, if I make the tactical decision, oh, let me whizzer back, step back, whizzer, circle, 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 I'm going right into the tractor beam. That's why I like to think of it like, on the Millennium Falcon, getting caught in that tractor beam, and boom. So my reaction time is going to be delayed because I'm not thinking uchimata. But if, let's say I get you down, if I'm here and then Kev is actively circling backward to get his knee in the angle, keep going, is like I'm just going to bump him over. Right? Because he's the one, I'm like, oh, he's trying to get to that back corner. Well, what do I have from that back corner? Right? I'm not saying everyone's going to throw that at you, but that would be my concern. And that's what I do to people.
Right.
So not to say it wouldn't work. It would.
Right, you just gotta catch it at the right time. You might have to take a step back or something.
Right. And then again, it always goes back to like, what is the tactically sound path? I mean, if I want him to circle backward, well, what do I just keep circling towards him?
Right.
And it's like, he's like, oh shit, he starts circling back, and then he puts himself in that. If I can make them make the choice,
right, okay,
that's always the best option, right? Does that make sense? Killer. Now, alternatively, let's say that he gets this whizzer situation, or even if he doesn't have the whizzer, and he's circling backward, and I can't drag that knee. Maybe his base is really wide. Grab you. Let's say I'm here, I have my half guard, he's circling back, and it's just not, I feel like I hit this wall, right? So here's the thing to think about with this, guys. Let's rotate. I'll show it from this angle, and actually, and then I'll show it from a couple different angles. So I'll explain it while I'm facing you so you can hear my voice, and then I'll show a couple different angles. Here's the thing about this half guard position, right? And this is where you start getting into some pretty crazy stuff. But at any point in time, if I'm here, as long as my knee, so can I posture up for just a second? As long as my knee stays kind of shelved behind his butt, as in if my knee is out completely and his hip butt is sitting below, I might not have access to this, but if I do get my knee under there, and it's not super hard to just make sure to shelf that here, I kind of always have access to this foot that I'm kind of already trapping, right? So what I'm going to do is, let me get you to just kind of plant your hands there so it's a little easier for people to see what I'm doing. In fact, let's now rotate to the left. Thank you, sir. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. A little bit more, please. Okay, perfect. Again, that base nice and wide, right. Is that at any point in time, if I can get his butt forward, I have this. Now, I want you guys to notice how that left foot moved? Right? The reason why that left foot is moving is because what I'm doing is putting a very mild degree of pressure on the sort of on his knee, which is going to facilitate that foot wanting to windshield like we're in. At this point, it's very unstable, which is essentially what the old school sweep is when we got under and grabbed that pinky toe. Okay? So if I don't feel like I can mobilize his base because he's too heavy, like he's too wide, he's too stable, then we always go back to the basic principles. I want to attack the weakest point of his position, which in this case would be his toes. So we go back, showing that from context. I'm here, he widens his base, maybe even has that whizzer, and I just like, I'm not having any success with this technique or any of the other ones. I can't get under his base all this. Well, guys, up, and the same bullying mechanism. The only real downside, you may ask yourself, well, why didn't we just fucking do that from the first place, coach? And I'd be like, that's a good question. Is like, once I start releasing his legs, if he times it right, he could step out, he could kind of create some chaos. So it's like, we always want to try to find ourselves, and also this is very situational. This is, he's whizzering, or at least, you know, not letting us get his back. He's circling backward. He's widening his base, right? If his base is kind of narrow, like let me grab you. Put your knees kind of closer together, right? Like it's kind of harder to get in there. Like it's a little, right? You can kind of, you see what I mean? But the second he widens his base, it's like it's actually a lot easier for me to perform this transition. You guys see my footwork here? Can you see that? So again, his knees are closer together, right? Let's say you get that whizzer and circle that back corner, right? Tractor beam makes sense because his hips are narrow enough for me to bully. If he widens the base in such a way that prevents the tractor beam, then his ankles are going to be easier for me to get a hold of. And at that point, guys, the mechanism is, so I'll grab you, Kev, so that way Tony, you get a chance to see that, is stupid easy. Let me get you half, let me get the half guard. Perfect. So I'm here, he gets that whizzer, he starts circling backward, and he widens his base. So it's like, I'm not likely to technical stand up this, and I don't want to hang out here too long trying to, because again, that Uchimata, all this different stuff, I don't want to deal with all this. So, whether it be up here or just down on my hip, both are legit. My knee wedges behind his butt, and then I want to replace my own leg. I scoot that foot towards me. See how that foot rotated? And then I just clothesline to drop that hip. And then I touched on this in the like talking to you guys, so I'll just make this point real fast on while we have it on tape. Is I pretty much have my pick of the litter as far as where I want to go from here because I have this shoulder control. So if what I want is side control, what I like to do is, Tony, you may want to rotate on this side. Palm on the knee, hook the armpit, and then I'm going to basically baseball slide my butt to the floor, and then rewind the tape. And then, if we go back, it was like kind of here, right? So that's if I want to go to side control. If I want to go to the mount, I'm going to immediately hug this shoulder and aim to this corner, and then find my forehead, right? And then if I want to go back now, this one's the one that's the most involved, but I'm here, is what I want to do is basically clear my foot and find my way to the opposite side. And I start bullying him to his nose. So wherever your sort of preferred destination, they're all accessible once I control that arm like that. The power of that underhook. So if you guys want to incorporate those ideas into your practice today, feel free to do so. Don't stress that second part. I just wanted to get that on tape and, you know, for the more intermediate students, give you guys sort of something to think about where you're targeting towards. Otherwise, let's work on moving some feet. Let's part up. 1, 2, 3.